I'm more in this than you.
What's up?
We're here.
And now it's crooked again. Oh my goodness. I'm Jonathan, this is Lewis, and
We live in an uneven world.
Superhero Chat. So, today, our topic today, we're going to talk about DC switching Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, and Diana Troy from the Trinity. Donna Troy. I always get mixed up.
Hi.
From the Trinity, and then putting new people in their place. So, that's our topic. But first, news and notables.
News and notables.
And you might not be able to hear me because of this.
It looks like it's responding.
What you got?
Well, let's see. News. There's something going on in Asia, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
You guys might not have heard about that because it's not all over the news and social media and everywhere.
Right.
I'm kidding. You guys have probably heard. There's something going on with China and Hong Kong and.
Right.
Yeah. So.
I think we heard about it. Well, I mean, we heard about the protest, but really came into the function with Blizzard and all their reactions this last week or so. So, we support freedom. We love being free.
I don't know all of what's going on, but
I mean,
China, you don't just get to roll up into Hong Kong and say, "Hey, we're gonna take over."
Yeah, so
that's not cool.
And we don't like one. I'd say I don't like it when companies like Blizzard are like shutting down free speech, but on the same time, that's video game championship tournaments not really
the most appropriate place.
It's not really the perfect. They're the best place for political dialogue.
But obviously, you can utilize your newfound fame as the winner of that tournament after the tournament to speak up and say something. And it was out of line for Blizzard to just banhammer the guy into oblivion for his free speech.
Yeah, 1,000-year ban. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
I guess they didn't want his money or all the money of the people who promptly quit as a result of their excessive enforcement of whatever it was they were in favor of.
Right. So, we stand for freedom because we're Americans.
That's right,
America.
Free speech. I mean, let's be honest. We look at history and we think they're crazy back in the day for things that we accept as commonplace now, right? Like the Catholic Church, Galileo. The sun is the center of the universe, not the earth. No, you're crazy! You're crazy! We don't like you saying that, so we're going to kill you or something. Let's not go back to that. Even if you say something crazy, like, what was it, Charlottesville last year or the year before with the...
And you're just diving right into politics.
I'm just saying, like, even if I don't like what they're saying, that in this country particularly, they have a right to say it.
Right.
And that's all I'm saying.
I gotcha.
So, I don't want to say any more of that. But
well, we're going into Charlottesville on our channel for some reason.
I'm just saying, like...
we are against anti-Semitism.
That's absolutely right. We hate those intolerant people. I mean, but they do have...
You're killing me.
According to the... Yeah, whatever. So you guys get what we're saying. One country doesn't have, this blanket authority to go into another one.
They shouldn't.
Yes. Except Canada. We're coming for you, Canada. It's America Junior already. So.
Yeah. It's funny because I was talking to somebody about like, I don't know why we got into this topic because, whatever. But, we're like, what would you do if you're, like, how would you take over the world if you were going to try? And
they must have been playing Risk.
No, well, I mean, we weren't, but I did think of Risk when we were talking about
it.
Sure. But I was like, just take Canada because that'd be easy. You just walk right up and take it.
Say bonjour, and they're like, "Oh, my brother."
They'll probably thank you for it. Thank you. We're kidding. We love Canadians. There's a lot of great Canadians out there. So.
Like Bret Hart.
But I did find that funny. Anyways,
Ryan Reynolds, he's Canadian, right?
So
Deadpool.
all that Blizzard
Back to
stuff,
comic books.
all that Blizzard stuff happened this week. What else? I saw that Batwoman tanked in audience approval.
Yeah, I've heard that's not going over well. I described it the other day as going over like a wet fart in church.
I was like, oh, you take a character that no one really cares for and make a TV show and you're surprised that it's flopping? Okay. I mean, I'm sure there's a few Batwoman fans out there, but...
I think it could be better. I think maybe they're emphasizing the wrong aspects of the character.
Right.
Like, I just remember some backlash when the first trailer hit and how emphatic the trailer seemed to be about her being better than Batman or doing it better because she's a woman or something like that.
The funny part was she's taking all of his stuff. And then, like, this is I shouldn't take credit for what a woman does. I'm like, well, you're literally stealing all of his stuff. You've taken his name and just changed it. You've taken his suit and changed it. And then you're basically becoming Batman, but different.
Right.
So why should we treat you with the same respect as Batman? I don't know.
Has she earned it? I don't know.
No. I mean, there's others who have, like Batgirl. Love Batgirl.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a Batgirl that I have not liked. There's been, like, series in the comics that I haven't liked.
Right.
But I've liked all the characters that have been Batgirl. And then, all the Robins are great for the most part. And so there's a way to, like, have the character that's great. And some of this kind of ties into what we're going to talk about in the main thing. So any other news and notables?
I read that Joker passed the $500 million mark.
Oh, man.
So that movie is apparently picking up steam.
And since it's like in October with all the Halloween stuff, it's possible that it'll just even be better.
Yeah, no, I think it'll roll through November. I think it's still number one at the box office.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Just know that it's very different than what you'd expect if you're looking for like an action superhero, supervillain movie.
Right.
So,
have they done a supervillain movie?
Venom.
Wow.
DC has not. Although they had talked about doing a Black Adam movie.
Yeah, they need to get on that. Well, that'd be awesome.
I think we just need to throw them in with Captain Marvel and see the two of them fight.
You want to see man-on-woman violence?
No, Shazam! Fool.
Whoa, is there lightning coming? You're wearing the wrong shirt.
Yeah, it's funny. We were just at CiCi's and the guy, like, I'm getting my pizza.
And if you guys have gone to CiCi's, it's buffet style, and so like you're not really like looking to talk to people as you're trying to get your pizza and get out of the way.
Well, and I'm introverted, so I'm definitely not looking to talk to random people.
Right. But he doesn't even talk to me while we're in line getting pizza.
That's not true. You were pretty far away.
This is true.
But the guy was like overly talking to me, which I guess some people.
He was the manager, and it was slow, so we get that.
He was nice. He was a really cool guy. But like I'm focusing on my pizza, and he's talking about something, and I hear him say Kal-El. I'm like, I know that name. What? Why is he saying it? And then I realized, I'm wearing my Superman shirt.
Yeah, because I heard him say it too, and I was like,
and what? That's news and notable.
It's news to him that he's wearing that shirt.
So that was funny. Support your local CiCi's. I know that
that's
it's.
Right. Tell them Superhero Chat's in. They'll have no idea what you're talking about, but tell them anyway.
Yeah, I thought about doing a video just debating on like the different pizza places because I'm like, what's not nerdy about eating lots of pizza? But let me know if you want that. I'll talk about
we'll tell you some
which
good local
pizza places because I like to think of myself as a pizza connoisseur. So
I'm a pizza eater.
I'm
a purple pizza eater.
A purple pizza eater.
I eat till my face turns.
Anyways, you read anything interesting this week?
I did. I was just trying to think if there was anything else notable news-wise.
Yeah. This week's
but I really don't think so.
Comic books we still got the Crisis on Infinite Earths #1 reprint over there. and that's really just there because we're going to talk about
And
it
you can't really
in another
see
video.
it all.
So look forward to that. And then this one is the first or the issue 1 of the New Teen Titans
From 1980 something. It's a beautiful George Perez cover.
It's awesome. Unfortunately, we're still working out the kinks of the camera, so you can't see it. But
we might fix it.
My hope is in a few months to get a better camera, so you can see it. But sorry, you'll have to deal with this now. Hope that's
technical difficulties.
Yeah, the great evil of superhero chat.
So the thing that I read this week, ironic choice of words, I know, because I don't know how to fix that. Crap.
It looks good, I think. I think you had it.
All right. Fantastic Four number 14 has this awesome. This is one of the Immortal variants, and there went my phone. And I got the thing one because that's that's the one Brandon held for me. I love that cover. It's Ben Grimm changing into the Thing. It starts a new story about the Fantastic Four's origin. Why are you holding that so close to my face?
I saw this.
The regular one is cool too, with everybody in outer space helmets or whatever, spacesuits. So yeah, I kind of would have gotten the other one too, probably. Don't tell Brandon because he'll be looking to save me a copy of that one too. But no, it was really good. I can't tell if I like this series because they keep going back over well-trodden ground. Like, everybody was big on The Force Awakens when it first came out, except for die-hard Star Wars fans, only because they felt like the new stuff...
Die-hard Extended Universe fans.
Fair enough.
Because other Star Wars fans didn't care.
I enjoyed it when I watched it in the theaters. I got a ticket for Christmas from brother-in-law and me and the brothers-in-law and my father-in-law. We stopped doing it. We all went together and watched it. And I thought it was good. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And then somebody pointed out that there was a lot of similarities between that and The New Hope, the first of the second set of trilogies, i.e. the original first Star Wars movie.
The prequels.
Yeah. What?
The prequels.
No, they're not the prequels. This is 4 or 5. I'm talking about
the original
4.
Trilogy.
Yeah, the original trilogy.
Okay.
And somebody was saying
Please excuse his Star Wars language.
Yeah, because I don't know it.
He's a Trekkie.
I grew up a
Sadly,
Trekkie. So.
Sadly.
Anyways, there was enough similarities between Force Awakens and New Hope that folks had something to grab hold to, and then there was the new stuff that was presumably to bring them back for Last Jedi, but that killed any goodwill they had. So I'm kind of hoping with the Fantastic Four that the goodwill that they've garnered thus far continues, and we get some new stuff that's worth reading and not pure rehash. But I'm enjoying the rehash, so.
Yeah, so I'm holding this because I left my stand downstairs and I just don't feel like going downstairs to get it. Oh,
but he likes to poke it in my face.
Since we're still on news and notables, I was watching this. Oh, thank you. I was watching this. No, I got to show you this. So I was watching this video. It was some kind of political debate or something.
Whoa! Slow down with.
I'm not going to talk about the topic stuff, but I was watching and there's this guy who was holding the mic because they were doing a Q&A from the audience.
Yeah.
And the guy was like holding it up to the guy's mouth. And the guy was moving his head while he was talking. And so the guy was like moving it with his mouth. And it was like right by his mouth. I was like, dude, like move the mic away. Like just hold it still. We don't need it to be like moving with his head. Like
right, you're not singing where you want to rest it on your chin.
It was so weird. It was so weird. It was just like
get out of my face.
Just looked weird. I was like, dude, come on, just hold it still.
Quit creeping us out.
So I know that's news and notables, what you've been waiting for all week to hear, but that's all we got. I did get a first appearance of, or reprint, first appearance of Spider-Ham for $1. I was pretty excited about that. I'm a big Spider-Ham fan.
Peter Porker. You
Peter
can't go wrong.
Porker. So, all right, well, to the main topic. Lucius Fox, or Luke Fox.
Luke Fox. The
Not
son of
Lucius.
Lucius
The
Fox.
son of Lucius Fox. So, you've probably heard in the rounds that DC's talking about, and I think these are all rumors. I don't think that they've officially said anything.
Nope.
But the rumors are that they're going to get rid of Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, and Diana Prince.
There you go.
And replace them with other characters. So
Younger characters.
right. So with Superman, we're gonna get supposedly Jonathan Kent,
Aged even further than he's presently at.
so aged again.
Yes.
Cassandra, I forget her last name. She's the Wonder Girl, Cassandra from Young Justice and Teen Titans.
Sandmark or something.
That sounds right. And then Luke Fox
As
for
Batman.
And yeah, that we're both against that completely. We have some caveats. I think that there's some ways that they could do it and do it well. But I think my first reaction when Lewis was telling me about this.
And I mentioned it last week on News and Notables. So.
Right, but we talked about it a lot more yesterday at church.
Yeah, that's
and you were
true.
talking about it because you got it from what? Bleeding Cool.
Bleeding Cool. It's
the article?
Yeah. They went to New York Comic Con where DC posted their new timeline, and there's a big story supposed to be breaking next year called 5G, and so they've got 4 generations of DC Comics that they're compressing into a 60-year timeline, as opposed to just recognizing the 85 years they've been around. I don't get that because that actually kind of breaks into 21 years apiece. So as a math guy, I'm like, why are you doing that? But whatever. You stupid kids, get off my lawn. No, but yeah, so apparently there's a big event coming next year. I know, some big surprise there. Because who's event fatigued? Can show of hands? Yeah, I'm tired of events. Can I just have some like done-in-one issues where they're just really good stories? I'm so sick of events.
And we have Marvel that comes out with like an event every week.
They have an event on top of events.
And so they have like 6 or 7 events going on simultaneously.
Yeah, I'm sick of
that
that.
are all crossing over everything. And then DC, they have an event that started 2 years ago that was supposed to
still haven't finished.
Supposed to end 2 years ago that we might finally end this Christmas. So it's just like, you've been dragging this thing on for 2 years.
And that doesn't count all the time before from Rebirth, which is 3 years, right? I think they're 3 years into Rebirth.
I guess.
And I don't know, did they just quit that and not care? Like, because I was excited. Like, I don't buy new comics. Except now I am buying new comics. Right? Like, he showed me Rebirth, and I'm like, okay. So I bought I went back and bought Titans. I got caught up on that. Bought some Superman stuff, some Batman stuff. Been on this Fantastic Four kick. So there's a way to get old readers back. And if you do good stories, then I might pass it along to my child as he's developing an interest in reading and that sort of thing. So you can get new readers too from the goodwill you garner from the old readers. That's an option, Marvel, DC. We're looking at you. Do something about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but anyway, Bleeding Cool showed the timeline. It's very blurry, so it's hard to make out a lot of things and where they fit on the timeline. But in the future, there's supposed to be, and by that I just mean next year or whatever, some big event that leads into the 5G stuff. It sounds very much like New 52 redone. So thanks, Dan Didio. I said sarcastically because I want Dan Didio to willingly leave under his own compulsion and allow somebody who actually cares about DC Comics to come in and fix what's going on. And by that, I don't mean going back to the way they did things for the sake of doing things, but actually like caring about we love DC. One of the reasons is legacy. right?
Right.
So
If you haven't seen our video about why we love DC,
we did one a couple weeks
go
ago.
check it out.
Yeah, it should be one of the top videos.
It's also in one of our older videos about why DC Comics is better than Marvel.
Yeah. So, legacy. This idea that you actually can pass the mantle on to a younger hero. So we don't have a problem with that. What we have a problem with in this new storyline that's rumored to be going on, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I like Bleeding Cool. I read their stuff. Some of it's better than others. So take it with a grain of salt. But they've been right about a lot of things. So, that's where I get some of my news from. That and comic book resources, which tends to be more opinion than resource sometimes. But the good thing about that is the myths, like comic book legends revealed. That's a really good series.
But when I heard about this, when me and him talked about it yesterday, my first reaction was, "Oh, so we're getting a repeat of New 52."
Yeah, and that's what it is. That, and coupled with what Bendis did with Miles Morales, where he moved Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe off the stage and introduced this new character. And here's the thing. Nobody minded that because in the main universe you still had Peter Parker.
Right.
And now you have like this overlap at times, and that's really not a problem. But if Jonathan Kent's running around calling himself Superman and Clark Kent is running around calling himself Superman, that's going to be a problem. Additionally, I've also heard another rumor that says Clark Kent is going to out himself to the world as Superman. So he'll do away with his superhero identity. To that I say, bullflop. I'd say something stronger, but...
no, please no.
Yeah, I know.
You're not Iron Man. You're not Peter Parker in the middle of a Civil War. No.
I'm just saying, like, it does bother me,
You're
though.
Superman. I think for Superman to out himself, he puts Lois Lane in danger constantly. And
because they got her on camera or something kissing Superman. Remember, shortly after Bendis started, she rendezvoused with Superman in hiding. She was in hiding. Superman came. They had a kiss, and it ended up on the front page of the paper.
I don't know. I haven't been watching or reading.
Well, this happened
comics.
like a year ago.
I haven't really been reading Action Comics in a while. But, that makes sense.
Right.
I think that also one of the problems is one of the things about Superman is that, he could be anybody.
Right.
And there's not really like a name attached to him in the public view.
Right.
It's and so Superman. For him to out himself, like, he becomes less of that symbol because the more it's kind of like the Darth Vader thing with the prequels. Like, the less you knew about the bad guy, the more, scary he was. Yeah. Similar with Superman, the more you know about him, the more humanized he becomes, and less, this, great figure of hope. So I think that's bad. But let's talk about the main topic, which is that the replacement. I think we're in agreement. The only one of those three that makes sense is Cassandra.
Right.
And even that's still under certain circumstances.
We do like the idea of Jonathan Kent as Superman, but not by artificially aging him.
Right. So if they did, the only plausible explanation for this would be if they set this in like 20 years in the future.
And they don't even have to tell us it's 20 years in the future.
Right.
Just say it's the future.
Right. You just say the future. We don't need to know the exact timeline. Oh, okay. It makes sense for those original characters to be gone and we have new characters. That's why Batman Beyond works. That's why when we had the Sons of Tomorrow line and the Super Sons run from Tomasi, we got to see a future version of Tim Drake as Batman. Cassandra was Wonder Woman, and we had Connor as Superman. There's a great trinity right there.
There you go. It's already built in, and then you got Impulse as the new Flash.
Right.
So
So it's perfect. Why not just use what you've already created, what you've already done, the groundwork? Why not just go with that?
In addition, I've heard that Teen Lantern will be the one who replaces Green Lantern.
I mean, that kind of makes sense if it were in the future.
Yeah, but it almost comes across like it's forced diversity for the sake of diversity.
Right.
Now we were talking about this earlier. He's reading in the Flash Forward series, and I just saw a preview for issue 2, and it's got the Earth 23 Black Batman, who's the president there. That guy has a great look, and he seems like an interesting character. If you're gonna make Black Batman, use the guy that's already there. You've got him, and then there's another one, Kal Ellis. He's also an African American from a different reality, and he has a slightly different suit. That guy, give me that guy. I actually would be interested in reading stories about those guys. But
And it would make a lot more sense to have like a grown up
right, then
show up from another multiverse and fill in for Superman for a while.
We don't need to artificially age children. I mean, I look at our culture today, and I feel like kids are growing up way too fast. My wife works at a hospital, and the stuff she sees happening to kids is not okay.
Well, and you've already got a good Superboy that could be Superman. Connor.
Right.
You haven't done anything with him in for a long time. Why not make him Superman? He's already earned the title. He's been in the comics for a long time. We've learned to love him as a character. He'd make a great Superman. He hears that and it makes sense.
And if they artificially age him, no one will blink and miss a beat.
I mean, you just say that he looks young.
Right.
It's. I mean, even if he's in his 20s, like early 20s, that's old enough to be Superman.
Right, because Superman was in his early 20s when he became Superman.
Right. So you have a new story with the second Superman who's trying to live up to Superman. He can even be mentored by Supergirl, who's been around for a long time because they're in the same family, and he's trying to learn the ropes to fill the boots, to fill the cape.
Yeah.
And so I think that'd be great. And then you leave Jonathan Kent down as Superboy, even training under Connor.
Mentoring, yeah.
You have the whole thing where his father's gone, and he's trying to, grapple with that. Whatever happened to his father, I don't know. Maybe he retires, and he's rethinking being a superhero. And then you can also keep the cool stuff going on with Damian Wayne, which has been the only thing that has made Damian Wayne tolerable in the comics.
Yeah. So the rumor is that Batman Bruce Wayne will retire and hand the mantle off to Luke Fox.
It's stupid.
But here's the thing, like, Luke Fox hasn't even been in enough books for me to care anything at all about the character. So if I'm not I'm emotionally invested in Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Jason Todd to a lesser degree, and I've come to appreciate Damian more than I ever did before. With just the little vignettes I read in the what was that book? Had the random creators. It was the showcase. It was like
DC's talent showcase.
Yeah, so DC had this like tryout book, basically.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and there was a good Damian story in there where he was, teaming up with Catwoman. So if like any of those characters, I'm more emotionally invested in than Luke Fox. So why would Luke Fox suddenly take over as Batman? Like, I didn't even like the idea of Jim Gordon as Batman, and I think he's earned it way more than Luke Fox has.
Yeah. Well, there's no way that Dick Grayson isn't going to be the Batman, and if he's not, then you've got Jason and Tim, who are the next in line. Tim Drake is the perfect Batman.
I think it would be an excellent character moment for Jason to wear that mantle.
Yeah, you have...
You know what I mean? Where he, like, finally redeems himself...
That'd be great.
In such a way, like, why not?
And so you have Tim, who wants to take the mantle, but wants to make sure that Jason has a chance because Tim sees the best in everybody, and wants to make sure that Jason, since he's been trying to change his ways, is given the shot. And so you could have Tim as a supporting character to the Batman. to be the moral compass for Jason, who really needs it, and you know, and then you have Damian finally get away from being the Robin.
Right.
I said a long time ago what they should have done is, with all the rebirth stuff, because they had the kid from We Are Robin come over, and he became what's that character's name?
I don't know. Gotham Boy?
No, it's...
Oh, Signal.
Signal. He became Signal, which was kind of cool.
Okay, so that guy could be the Black Batman.
Well,
if we're going to do it in the future, make him Black Batman, because I'm actually invested in him too.
I said back then, they should have made him Robin. He's already been the We Are Robin. Make him Robin, and let Damian Wayne become his own character, because it's the only way that Damian's going to be a good character. As long as he's stuck as being Bruce Wayne's son, Robin, he's never really going to own up to being a real good character.
Right.
But it would be a good time for him to grow up, become his own character. I think he should go down the Ra's al Ghul path.
Right, we agree on that.
And have that guy who's Signal become Robin. You wouldn't necessarily have to have the Robin costume. You could have the cool Signal costume or whatever. I would have saved that till after he
became Robin.
But then it would make sense now. You know, if you had done that 30 years ago, now it would make sense for him to become the
And
Batman.
let me just tell you, when I heard a rumor that Sean or Marlon, one of the Wayans brothers, was set to become Robin in the Tim Burton universe. So with Michael Keaton as Batman, one of those guys would have been Robin. And you'll just have to forgive me. I think it's Marlon, but it could have been Sean. I can't remember. It's the skinnier of the two, the smaller, the younger one. And when I heard that, I was like, dude, that would have been brilliant. Like, in my mind, there'd be nothing wrong with that switch, right? Orphan kid, you know. Like, I thought, oh, that's great. You know, that wouldn't have bothered me at all. So the idea of race, like, I'm not blind to it. I'm not ignorant to it. But to force it, like, to take just Luke Fox, a African American character, for the sake of diversity and shoving him in that role is stupid. But like he was saying with Signal, if they had made him Robin, then when he becomes Batman, it's no longer forced, right? He's earned that. And we could have been enjoying stories with him as Robin. If we're going to do... Like, I think they still could do the Ra's al Ghul thing with Damian now that Jonathan's going to the future. Like, he could be lonely all of a sudden because I guess he's got the Titans, right?
Yeah.
Well, so unless something happens to them...
and the Titans kind of fueled Damian's dark side to an extent. Because all of them in the Teen Titans that he's got are pretty... on the edge anyways. A lot of them are shaded characters to begin with.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And so I think Jonathan Kent was really the only light in Damian's darkness.
Wallace?
Well, he had kind of a breaking away from Barry Allen. They were trying to make him his own character, which I thought was the best thing for him was for him to be on the Titans. Same with Damian. But he had a grudge, and he was kind of going down a darker path.
Yeah.
And so he never really called out Damian for... I think there was Damian was locking people up and torturing them, but...
Underneath their headquarters.
They didn't know about that.
Well, now they do.
But Damian's kind of character was never really called out maybe before that. I don't know if they ever got that.
They found
out. I haven't read the issues since then, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that they found out. I know that Red.
No, they did find out.
I know that Red Arrow did, and she agreed with it, but
no, they all found out about it.
Anyways, so now
it's pretty good from what I read.
If you're gonna take Jonathan Kent away from Damian, it makes sense for him to spiral into
that could
darkness.
be a catalyst, yeah.
And that would make Tim want to keep Damian from being Batman, because Tim seems to be the one that really cares who's in the Bat place.
Right.
Dick is like, it's not me.
I've been Batman.
I've been Batman.
And he'll tell you that.
And he's kind of I think he's solid as Nightwing, which is why I hated what has been going on with Nightwing for a while and refused to read it. But
hopefully that'll be over soon.
I don't care. I think it's great to have diversity of characters, all sorts of races. I think that's awesome. What I don't like is when they change a character just for diversity, or when they make somebody, or when they upgrade a character that has no use in the comics,
right?
Just for the sake of diversity. I don't like that. I don't mind you creating a good character, raising them up in the comics, and whatever. I'm of the opinion that even the greats like Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, and Diana Prince should retire eventually and move on. I think that's one of the best things about DC is we've gotten that a few times, and when they did it, it was great. Barry Allen retired. We've got Wally West. Flash.
Barry died.
Okay, sorry. Jay Garrick. They
retired. Jay Garrick
retired. We got Barry Allen.
There we go.
Barry Allen died. We got Wally West. I think that's great. Hal Jordan went crazy. We got
Kyle Rayner.
We got Kyle Rayner, and I mean we got Jon Stewart. We got Guy Gardner. All of them are great characters. We've gotten Jessica Cruz and Simon Biles, who are amazing characters. So there's some areas
that DC's not even willing to do anything with right now.
Simon Biles hasn't been in a character or in a book since the first issue of Justice League Odyssey, as far as I know.
Yeah, no, that sounds
I'm like,
about right.
What are you doing with the character? He's great.
He's already diverse and he's actually interesting.
Exactly.
What they say they want.
Why did they break up Jessica Cruz and Simon Biles? It was excellent. It was an excellent series. They could have put Simon Biles in the new Justice League Odyssey and it would have been just great.
Yeah.
They never really explained how now they're able to have their own lanterns and go on. Like, there's no real closure to the Green Lantern's run.
It's so that Grant Morrison can have his heyday with Hal Jordan.
So, I don't mind them ending.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen!
I don't mind them ending that series. I've read the first issue or two.
Yeah, Green Lantern's getting canceled after 12.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Me either. But they're just going to restart it. I think they were trying to get the sales boost of a new number one.
Of course.
Raise your hand if you're sick of that. I couldn't tell which one was going to be on camera, so I just threw them both up.
The one in the middle.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Anyways.
Good to know for the future.
So, I think Cassandra makes sense for Wonder Woman.
Even Donna Troy would be better.
Well, I think Donna Troy would be a better choice. But
no, I just mean than some made-up character that's not earned the...
But I think Cassandra has earned it.
Right.
I don't know, that's not what you're arguing against. I'm just saying, she's the only one that actually makes sense of the three. She's the only one that has earned the title. And I could see Donna Troy not taking...
aging out?
Well, not taking the mantle because... Well, one, they've messed her character up. But two, like...
who is she?
Two, where she is, I feel like they could do a separate story where she's trying to find herself. And she's not ready to take up the mantle of Wonder Woman.
Marvel's come rewrite Donna Troy's origin for us.
But a better scenario, Wonder Woman leaves. Donna Troy realizes that she needs to stop the self-pity thing and step up and be Wonder Woman. And she can that can be her redemption arc where she finds who she is. It's not where I came from, but it's what I do. It's who I am. It's not where I came from.
She had a really cool costume in the Titans. I dug that.
She did.
Like, that was probably the only good thing about her post Rebirth, as far as like the basics of her character.
So I think that I think it would have been better to do Donna Troy, but I could understand her stepping aside and letting Cassandra do it, because Cassandra's been Wonder Girl for a while. She's still trying to find herself. But don't just leave her out there in limbo, Donna Troy, and just let her do nothing. use the character. She's great.
Well, Didio wanted to kill her in
course he
Infinite Crisis
Of course he did.
alongside Dick Grayson and Wally.
Of course he did.
And Kyle Rayner.
Yeah. Try that.
Possibly Jason Todd.
You want to kill the DC Comics franchise. And
Well, yeah, he's well on his way.
that's how you do it.
Like, he's going to alienate the people who are actually currently buying the books. And, I mean, kids today don't go to the comic book store like I did.
Yeah.
Like, I used to beg. My parents divorced, and I spent every other weekend with my dad. And the first place I wanted to go on Friday night when he picked us up was to the comic book store, because I knew when they closed. My sister, she wanted to go to the video store and rent some videos. You guys have no idea what video stores are, and my heart breaks for you.
I
Because,
think a lot of our viewers are old enough.
all right, some of you may know what video stores are. Blockbuster,
You
Movie
young
Gallery,
whippersnappers don't
Yeah,
know.
you whippersnappers have no idea. Get off my lawn! You can thumbs
But-
down if you have no idea what a
I mean,
video store.
I know that it's good for us to move on to new characters. But the problem is they're very selective about which ones they want to move on from and
Right.
the ones they want to keep. If we didn't have major stories about Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner and Jon Stewart and Barry Allen and Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent and Donna Troy.
We only have a certain amount of time.
But we focused on the legacy characters that came after them. Jessica Cruz, Simon Baez,
Connor Hawke,
Wally
Green
West,
Arrow.
Connor Hawke, Kyle Rayner. All these characters that have not been around 80 years but are still really good. I mean, Dick Grayson's been around for a long time. Keep him.
Yes, please, because
Make him Batman. That was great.
he can be first among equals.
That was great. Donna Troy. And then have them in a world where all the Silver Age guys are gone.
Hey, why don't we make this our Trinity, okay? Supergirl, Donna Troy as Wonder Woman, Nightwing as Batman. There's your new Trinity. Kill off the old ones, right? If you're gonna put them out to pasture, just put them out to pasture. I don't want Clark Kent to the world to know who he is. I just think that's stupid. It demeans his humanity.
That would be good though. And what you could do is you could write like short issues of the other characters and just have them based in the past.
Right.
Oh,
We can do a
remember-
mini-series just like Marv Wolfman's take on Superman that came out last year. The Man and Superman thing. That was excellent.
I mean, Supergirl's been excellent. Dick Grayson's an amazing character. Donna Troy's an amazing character.
So look at that. We now have two
There's your
women.
new Trinity right
We
there.
have two women who are now in the Trinity. We have upended the Trinity and created an interesting new dynamic.
Just using the great characters you already got.
Right.
And then with your Green Lanterns, you just keep your Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
Jessica and Simon, and both of them are diverse.
Hal dies. We keep Jon Stewart. He's your principal Green Lantern
Yeah.
figure.
He could be your the leader
Because-
of the Justice League.
Thank you. I want that, DC. Jon Stewart is the leader of the Justice League.
That's
I
perfect.
think that makes sense.
See, I liked the Justice League book, the first couple issues, and then it just got weird.
Yeah, it just spiraled into this long, drawn-out story that still hasn't resolved.
that doesn't end, and I just feel like sometimes
It's like a marathon where there are no tables for water or Gatorade so that you can keep going.
I think one of the problems is they keep trying to make things so epic, and they don't just tell simple stories.
You have literally just touched on one of the things that has driven me insane about comic books. Everything doesn't have to be epic.
Yeah. Like, my favorite comic book ever is an issue of the New Teen Titans, which is this,
The run that we
That's,
can't figure out how to point at.
and the
I
whole
can't get it.
it's
I
a
can't.
one-shot issue where Dick Grayson is investigating the backstory of Donna Troy. That's it. Like, there's not really any fighting. There's no action, but it's an excellent story about great characters, and that's it. Like, I don't need this. I mean, I like the big overarching epic stories every now and then, But
What?
I want some
One
down
a
to
year
earth.
would be good.
I want some down to earth stories where it's just like they're fighting everyday villains. You know, Joker's run loose in Gotham again. Batman needs to go stop him.
Even if it takes
Because he's got some weird, crazy new invention that he's
even
trying
if it takes 3 issues to get that story told that he's describing, so be it. But that's still better and more condensed than what we get now. There's so much fluff that goes into it, or you read an issue and you're like, wait, is that all?
Yeah. Well, I think
And it's not because you want to wait till next month to read it. You're just like, did I just pay $4 for this?
I think everybody's trying to like be cutting edge, and like they're trying to tell the next the Killing Joke story, and it's just like,
Yeah, stop.
just tell a story.
I want these writers to stop telling me the story they want to tell and tell the story. Like, don't come to me and say, I'm going to reinvent the Joker. Come to me and say, here's the Joker story I wanted to tell.
Right.
But, like, actually present the Joker like the Joker and not, you know,
Like, and that's one
some
thing.
guy.
Like, if we're gonna contrast like the the Superman run from Tomasi and Gleason
Yes.
versus Bendis.
Yes,
Like,
I was excited with the Jurgens Tomasi stuff.
There's just some simple issues where they're fighting some random guy who's randomly attacked them for some reason.
The biggest disappointment I have with the run that came before Bendis was merely the reveal of who Jor-El was, or Mr. Oz was. Like, I didn't want it to be Jor-El. I thought
Yeah, I
that
didn't
seemed
either.
odd. So unless there's a big payoff in Doomsday Clock 12, which, I mean, at
It
this
hasn't
point...
even been in Doomsday Clock.
Yeah, so
It's just like, why?
at this point, that's what I'm hanging my hopes on, that Doomsday Clock wraps up all these loose ends and does a good job of it. Because if it doesn't,
It's gonna be a waste of time.
yes, it's going to have been a wasted, 2.5 years?
Yeah.
So
So
we don't mind these new characters. What we mind is when they're shoehorned into a role that they don't deserve. They can't possibly live up to the legacy of. And just because you tell me he's this character suddenly doesn't make Luke Fox Batman.
I mean, I don't submit that Jim Gordon was ever Batman.
Right.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
I ignore that.
He's a great character, but he doesn't. It doesn't work. He's not meant to be the Batman. It'd be like if you made Lois Lane Superman. It's
Maybe that's what Bendis is building.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, I could see him. I don't
even want Lois Lane to be Superwoman. I want her to be Lois Lane.
Investigative journalist.
Like, you know, don't just take a random character or a character that's somewhat close to the main
Maybe we
character
can make Jimmy Olsen
and then replace
Superman.
him. That doesn't make any sense.
It does. It makes more sense than Luke Fox as Batman. Jimmy Olsen is Superman's pal.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it.
I'm kidding, folks. Jimmy Olsen
It makes about as much sense as Luke Fox being
It makes
Batman.
more sense.
He doesn't have superpowers.
That's not true. He's had superpowers before.
Okay.
He was Mr. Action at one point, and he was Turtle Boy, and Elastalad. That's right, Elastalad. Yeah, he had stretchy powers. He teamed up with Elongated Man and Plastic Man and somebody else, and I forget who that is.
Okay.
Maybe it was one of the Doom Patrol people. What's the girl's name? Is it Elastigirl? I know that's the name. I know that the Incredibles. No, I swear that was her name in the comics before the Incredibles became big.
I don't know.
Maybe it's Elastic. I don't know, something like that. A bunch of
Elastic Woman, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, so here's how we would do it. I think you got 2 or 3 different options for if you're going to replace the Trinity with a new Trinity. You've got a few generations you can do. One, you can do Dick or Jason as Batman, Donna as Wonder Woman, and Supergirl would work well with them. I suggested you have Cyborg as your Superman. He's already been in the Titans.
He won't
best friends with
actually
them.
be Superman, like
And
wearing
you could,
the S.
you
or
could call
having
him
the powers.
Cyborg Superman.
No, that would be confusing.
I think that would be great. I think he's the only one in the original Teen Titans that would really fit there. But
Let me look.
it's this
Wally.
one. This one. Wally's Flash.
No, but he'd have to be back in that role.
All right. So your second option, you go with. These are the generic. These would work well. You do Tim Drake, Batman. You do Cassandra, Wonder Woman. We're in agreement with that. Connor as Superman. Boom. Perfect. Works great. Fits like a glove.
And if you don't want Supergirl and you don't want Connor, I'm arguing that you pull in an alternate Earth Superman like Kal Ellis or the Superman from Earth 23, because they look amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That would
the
be
costumes are too cool. Like, I am sold on the character based purely on the way they look in their outfit.
Well, you introduce a story where somebody, whichever one, because I'd say if you're going to do it with Batman. Have Connor as Superman and Cassie or Donna as Wonder Woman, or Supergirl as Wonder Woman.
No, I'd rather have a black Superman.
I
think that would be.
But you just have them show up in the new universe or the regular universe and get trapped there for whatever reason. And then when their
Miles Morales,
when their Superman dies or that character dies, they step up to fill the mantle for a while. It makes perfect sense. Unlike Luke Fox.
Right.
So I'm not against Luke Fox. I like the character. I think Batwing is great.
But it's the kind of character that doesn't need to be Batman.
He's not really that great of a hero. Like he's like a C or D list character. We haven't seen him do anything.
Right.
Why are we suddenly throwing him into an A list job?
Right.
That's our problem. Take some of your B list characters, move them up to A list characters.
It'd be like
it makes sense.
It'd be like Blue Beetle becoming Batman.
Right.
We don't need him to be Batman.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't work.
I mean, I'd be interested to see like Black Lightning fill in for Bruce Wayne.
No, that would be cool. I'd be down with that.
I mean, I like him as Black Lightning, but it makes sense. Like they're buddies to some extent.
I don't know. They've been having beef in the new Outsiders run.
Yeah, whatever. So he makes more sense than Luke Fox.
I know.
And he could just, hey, Bruce wants to take some time to develop whatever hideous relationship with Catwoman. And no.
Should be no relationship.
What he wants to develop a relationship with Diana.
Wonder Woman.
And
see, I could see them riding off in the sunset.
That's right.
That would be great.
Bruce and Diana disappear for whatever reason, and everybody's
on a mission.
Well, we know what they're doing. They're on a mission together.
A honeymoon mission because they elope. He's rich. She's a goddess.
And then, but the only one he really knows is Black Lightning.
Oh, okay.
And Superman, because he would know. That's why he disappears to go on the honeymoon.
That's right.
Or not on the honeymoon, but the wedding. He goes on the wedding.
We don't need to. This is getting creepy. I'm leaving.
And he can just run off with Lois. Take Lois with him.
Yeah.
To cool down whatever's going on. And so he asks Connor to fill in for him, or Supergirl, and then Wonder Woman has Donna. Boom. There you go. Way better than what they're trying to put through.
Now, admittedly, we're going to go on record and suggest we are totally assuming these are rumors at this point, but we are responding as though they are more than rumors.
Right. I mean, this could all be a waste of time, and but we like hypothesizing with rumors.
So, in a year, maybe we'll make another video and be like, so we were totally wrong, or hey, Bleeding Cool had it right, and we were right to be upset. So
yeah, well. The only way I could see those three characters that they're proposing, allegedly, working is if they base the whole thing in the future.
Right.
Then I'd be like, okay, this would be a great time for us to like Luke Fox.
Right. Because we would get to know him.
Be like, okay, tell me the story of how he became Batman. That would be interesting. Tell me the story of Cassie stepping up to be Wonder Woman. Okay. Now we're not just aging Jonathan Kent
unnecessarily
for the second time. He's
I'm
actually.
still annoyed by that because
Me
I was
too.
just getting excited about reading the Super Son series, and then we get that, and I'm like,
I mean, Super Sons is beautiful. It's a work of genius.
how can we?
And then suddenly they just throw it away because of Bendis.
Right.
Yeah. I like some of Bendis' stuff, but that was a poor decision.
Yes.
That was a poor decision.
Yeah.
An unnecessary decision. You could have left him at age, and especially now that you're aging him up again, you should just age him once. But really, just set this in the future.
Right.
It'd be kind of like 1 year later.
Well,
We were talking about that earlier, but it's kind of like that. It's set in the future. Although if you're just going to do the future, just use the ones that you had in Super Sons of Tomorrow. Works much better, I think. I mean, you've already got the Trinity and
well, I mean,
Bart.
and you can do that, and then have one of the characters die, and then have them replaced with, like, Batman could die in the immediate future, and you've got Batwing sliding in to take the role or something. Yeah. If there's enough of a buffer between now, like the eternal now in comics, because that's what it is, and then when these characters take over these roles, I won't have anything to complain about. But if it's just like an abrupt, all right, so here's your character. No, that's not Superman. No, that's not Batman. I'm not saying that's not my Superman, not my Batman, not my Wonder Woman. I'm saying those characters aren't those characters.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like. DC is like, you're gonna take what we give you and you're gonna like it or not. Well, if that's how it's gonna be, then we're not gonna like it.
But here's
Because we have 80 years worth of comics that we can enjoy right now.
Right. And that's the problem, DC. We can just go read the comics we want to read. We don't have to buy new comics.
We want to.
We want to. We want to support like Brandon at Play for Life
Yes.
Comics in Wake Forest.
If you're in Wake Forest, stop at Play for Life. Or go on to Play for Life Comics on Facebook where they do their weekly auctions. They've got some excellent older books that you can check out at incredible prices.
That's right.
Play for Life Comics, where you too can play for life. If you've made it this far, you've got to know who Play for Life Comics is. Cause
if you've been on our channel for a while.
That's right.
Anyways, we want to support our local comic book store. We want to buy comics because we love it.
We want to be able to walk into a comic book store and talk comic books, new and old, with folks.
But we don't have to buy new comics, which is what you want us to do. And so, what's going to happen if they do this? I mean, it could be written well. I'm still going to be like, even though it's a good story, I don't think that it's right.
And I'm not going to care.
It's not right.
I'm just going to go back to being like, I don't read new comics.
Because that's what I did with Bendis. I was like, I'll give you a chance. What I did with Tom King, I was like, I'll give you a chance. We'll see how this goes. And then I'll probably be like,
I've read Bendis. I read all, like, the first 10 years worth of Ultimate Spider-Man stuff, and I thought it was good. I read Bendis when he wrote some Daredevil stuff, and I thought, hey, this is pretty good. Then he went off the tracks because his head got swelled, kind of like Grant Morrison is doing right now. They drank too much of their own Kool-Aid, and so they're off thinking, oh, I'm a genius, and I'm going to do whatever I want with these characters, and can't nobody question me. No, that's not true, because I will question you, and I will tell you that you're not doing a good job, and I don't like the way that you're writing Superman, and if you get rid of his secret identity, you fail to understand what helps him keep his humanity.
And I think, I liked some of his work even in DC. Like, I enjoy Young Justice. I know some people don't like it. And that's fine.
I haven't read it.
I liked the beginning of the Superman run. It was okay. I didn't like everything he did, but it was enjoyable.
The problem I had with that Superman run was it was not enough. There was so many dangling plot holes that you're like, and he may or may not ever get to this again.
And he's very wordy. Like, he does a lot of like narration around the page. I'm just like, I don't need to know all this. Show me. Don't just tell me. Show me. I don't need like an info dump for 2 or 3 pages in every book.
Don't read the new X-Men.
No, I haven't.
Because that's a lot of what's going on right now.
That's kind of what I did with the Batman Damned series. I didn't even read the all the weird talk. I was like, this is boring.
Okay.
I mean, I just looked at the pictures and read the dialogue. That was actually real. Anywho, so if they did the three characters that they're talking about in the future, it'd be good. It could be.
Well,
good.
they hadn't really talked about.
And of course, none of this is public, so there might actually be something that makes it. Oh, that makes sense why they're doing it this way, rather than just doing it just cause. I don't like that. Like, I want a good justification for why you're doing what you're doing. Don't just, randomly throw characters in random positions just because you can. Make good stories. Tell us.
It's why I'm not the manager at the store that I work at. It's why he's not the boss at the place he works at. Because we would be random in those places at this point in our careers.
Random.
Random.
Oh, right.
Right. So, like, I don't know all the ins and outs of being a manager at the store that I work at. So if they're like, hey, you're a manager now. What? I don't know what I'm doing. It wouldn't make any sense.
Why would you throw me in this?
Right. Like, I mean, but that's what DC's doing. Like, oh, well, Luke Fox.
I'm brand new, haven't figured out this machinery yet, but now you're going to lead other people and tell
Here's
them
the
how to
keys,
do it.
drive that. What?
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for giving me time to figure this job out.
So,
and I'm not talking about learning things on the fly, because customers ask me stuff and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. Give me 1 second and I'll figure it out. That's fine. But to take up the role of Batman, you have to earn it. Yeah.
That's a lot, which is why I think Dick Grayson didn't. One of the reasons he didn't do it immediately.
Yeah. Well, and back in the 90s when Batman got his back broken by Bane, the purpose behind the character Azrael is so that we wouldn't like him and would want Bruce Wayne back.
Right.
Like, so that was in the cards always. Like, you guys want an angrier, grittier Batman? Well, here you go. We hate that guy. We want our real Batman back. Okay, here he is. And like they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be that, because they're not, it from all indications, that will be the new stat quo moving forward. Now, they may go back and erase it again.
I'm sure 2 years after that they'll realize that it was a bad decision and undo it, just like they do every other decision that they make.
And but I don't want them to keep doing that. I want to have a period of peace, like after...
Like Rebirth was kind of
what is it? 0 Hour to Infinite Crisis, where we had a fairly stable universe.
Rebirth was a breath of fresh air.
It was.
It's like, okay, we can relax and just have good comic books for a while.
But that didn't last long.
That lasted a couple years.
No, Bendis came along.
Well,
it upended all that.
We had a year or two before Bendis came on.
I guess.
And the only thing because we had like 50 issues of Superman, just about.
Yeah, but they were
or 45. We had 45. Because they couldn't make it to 50 for some reason. Bendis is too important to make it to 50. 5 more weeks. That's it.
No, it would have been 2.5. It would have been 2.5 weeks. Because why are they shipping them every other week? No, 5 weeks. Shut up.
So 10 weeks technically, but
shut up.
It would not have taken long. We could have gotten. We could have. Anyways, that's beside the point. Rebirth was great. We had a couple of years of a calm, like good stories that we liked, and like
characters that seemed like themselves.
So much good coming out of that. The Justice League was great. Batman. Well, people were enjoying Tom King at that point, so that was.
Well, I mean, at that point, he wasn't like
that was before
hitting the brakes before he had to stretch.
That was before the wedding. Yeah. Flash was pretty good. I mean, it was selling really well.
No, Flash was good. That was
Green Arrow was great at the beginning. The Green Lanterns was great. Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps was awesome.
The whole time.
Hawkman came out then. That was awesome. So much good was coming out of Rebirth, and then they just decided to, let's undo everything. Oh, we had Titans, and Titans was excellent.
Excellent for the first 20 issues or so.
Yeah. But so.
Hey, somebody's watching.
There we go. 3 people watching.
Sweet.
Thanks for watching.
We're almost done, but if you guys have any comments about the topic,
our style is kind of random. We just go in circles. I don't know. Well, let's get back. Let's get back to the topic, and then we just go off on these weird tangents. But I hope you
guys
enjoy.
know, because this is what we've been doing for the last what
year and a half.
Yeah,
So,
I guess it is a year and a half.
We gotta celebrate 63 subscribers.
Yeah.
Woo! Thanks everybody for that. We appreciate that. We enjoy everybody.
Part of the family.
That's right. That's right. So,
tell us where you buy your local comics at.
that's right.
We get ours from Play for Life.
Post it in the comments. We'd love to show everybody where some good comic book stores are.
Yeah, because if we don't, they might shut down, and we don't want that.
Yeah. So we go to Play for Life Comics.
right up here by the Domino's on the main
That's
drag
right. You
in
can
town.
get your pizza and your comics.
That's right.
In one.
Maybe get your comics and then your pizza, so you don't get grease on.
And if you play Pokemon Go like I do, there's a lot of stuff there for that. And there's coffee right across the street.
And if you get to know Brandon well, he'll probably let you sit down in his shop and eat in the back, and smell the old comics. There's something about old comics.
Yeah.
I bought some old comics the other week, and I've been reading them, and I've just been like,
anyways,
it's intoxicating. I love that smell.
That's our thoughts. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Do you vehemently disagree with us? Let us know. We'd love to have a dialogue.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways.
We don't have to agree. You know.
I don't agree with everyone in my family.
I like hearing everybody's opinions. But I mean, we all love the characters. Obviously, we don't all, not all the characters, but you know, generally love the characters, and you know, we just want good comics. That's it. You know, give us good comics, and you know,
we'll be happy.
Even if you do change them, I don't mind.
I mean, for the longest time, I was mad that the prices had gone up, but I was reading good comics in Rebirth, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Well, that's another good thing about Rebirth is some of them dropped to $2.99. Of course, they were doing it every other week.
You're right.
That was fine with me. You know, I was shopping every other week anyway.
$6 for 2 issues? That's still not bad.
There we got somebody. I can't read that.
Rebirth was great. I enjoyed New Age of Heroes as well. Luke Fox shouldn't be bad. Yeah, that's pretty much what we were saying, Bryson.
Yeah, he said it in one sentence, and we took an hour.
We gave a lot of more justification for why we don't think.
So you can almost read his comment and get the whole video.
He summarized, but we said that in the titles. So.
Thanks, man.
Glad you tuned in, Bryson.
But yeah, we just love reading comic books, and you know, it's great. I want to keep reading good comic books, so.
DC, keep making good comic books.
And we're both big DC fans, more than Marvel. Not that Marvel's bad, we just like DC, prefer DC.
Yeah, I just don't need the Thor crossover and the Carnage crossover and whatever's coming at the end of this year from Marvel all at the same time. That's just too much.
Although I was excited because I did get I got the Absolute Carnage with Miles Morales, where he gets his first symbiote. So I was pretty excited about that. I'm a Miles Morales fan. So
it sounds like he just got a tattoo. I got my first symbiote.
I was pretty excited. I didn't get the one where you have it on the cover, but whatever.
He got what he could take.
Got it for cover price too, even though it was a couple weeks after. So
where'd you get it from?
That was in Time Tunnel Comics.
Oh, okay. He got that from before he moved back.
What we got?
I thought it was DC was expanding Duke Thomas as a signal. Yeah, we thought so too.
Oh, that's his name, Duke Thomas.
Okay. Thanks for telling us his name. We forgot. we just keep calling him the Signal because that's what we know him as.
Yeah. If you, I don't know if you were watching this earlier, but I said a few years ago that they should have made him Robin.
I thought that's what they were going to do, honestly.
But instead they're like, oh well, we can't take Damian Wayne out of Robin, because kids.
Batman's son has to be Robin.
That's right.
No. That's nepotism.
That's right. It's not like he hasn't been Robin forever. I was like, just make him. He was in We Are Robin, which I thought was stupid. But just make him Robin.
What was the book?
And then
you
if
read
they had
me?
done that 3 years ago, we could have we'd have
Graduated him.
We'd have him. Oh, just move Duke Thomas up to Batman. It makes sense, but no. They did that 2-shot issue of the Signal, which was okay. I mean, it was kind of cool, but it's like, why did he suddenly get this power that I don't remember him having any other time? But whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, that's another tirade for another video. But we're probably going to.
I did think the Signal was cool, but him and Batwing, I just felt like, do we really need another non-Robin Batman character?
Yes, for the Batman Incorporated story. They didn't want to let go of that. It's the Batman of the world. Kind of like the Superman of America.
I'm talking about Batwing.
I know.
And Signal.
But Batwing was set up in some other part of the world for some of his story. So he was supposed to be part of the Batman Incorporated or something.
So why is he coming to Gotham to be Batman?
Who is Leviathan? We don't know yet.
Yeah.
I had a thought and it left me.
I don't know. I haven't been reading Action Comics because I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I liked Superman. It was like the story was, even though I didn't like everything that happened in Superman, it was more readable to me than Action Comics. Action Comics, just there was so much like narration. I was just like, give me like a dialogue. Let me get into the story and read the story. Don't just have me outside of the story watching. Like, if that makes sense. So I just. I didn't really care for Action Comics. I don't know that I really ever read Action Comics to begin with.
I think Leviathan is Arsenal. Roy Harper. He's not really dead.
Event Leviathan is good.
So the miniseries itself.
Well, I got the Leviathan issue 1, and that was okay. Not really enough for me personally to buy Action Comics, but
no, he's not reading Action Comics either. He's just reading the main story.
Oh, okay. I see that now.
We're sitting a distance from the computer so that we can both cram in here.
My camera
so
is
he's
terrible.
He's blind. He can't read.
Eventually, thank you.
See, he can't see what I'm doing right here. Yeah, see, I knew you were about to do that.
Oh man.
Oh man. So yeah.
Yeah. So we have to sit a good ways away. My hope is to eventually get a better camera, so that we can sit closer to the computer.
And not so close to each other that it looks like we're.
Oh, but anyways, I think there's some good that they could do.
Yeah.
They
have time. Maybe they can telegraph some of it such that when it happens, we're not as long as they set it up well.
Yeah.
I
think good.
My concern though is that they want it to be shocking and epic, as you said.
Right. Well, and
so is the surprise what makes something epic, or is it the actual shift that makes it epic?
We can almost say they have a similar view of the way they do their movies too, which is why DC hasn't done really very many good movies.
We're not going down that road. We're not going down.
But just as an example,
Aquaman and Shazam were good.
Yeah. Wonder Woman was great.
Yes, can't leave her out.
But the reason everybody likes the Avengers now because they've never read the comic book. Not that I don't like the Avengers. It's just everybody likes Marvel the best is because they've all watched the movies.
Right.
Culturally.
We welcome you to our family, even if that's your gateway.
So 90% of the people I ask whether like Marvel or DC, they say Marvel, and I say, "Have you ever read the comics?" They said no. They've only seen the MCU.
Right.
And
on that basis,
the reason they like Marvel is because Marvel did a really great job in the MCU setting up to the Avengers, to Thanos. Now they don't know where they're going. I don't think.
No.
We're directionless, so they have that problem. But that's just an overall critique of Marvel to begin with. But DC, no, we're biased, so we'll say that. I love Marvel. I'm not a Marvel hater. I just DC.
Prefer.
if DC were smart, they would have done the same thing and set up. And I said this when Man of Steel was coming out. I was like, don't base your whole DC universe on one movie.
You mean
And that was before I knew that
Superman?
And that was before I even knew that Man of Steel would bomb.
Oh, it did bomb. It did well.
Well, in the fandom, it bombed
Oh yeah.
because it wasn't a good Superman.
It's not
story.
Superman.
And then we had Batman vs Superman. They're not building. They want to be epic. They want to have these awesome stories where it's shocking. That's why I went into that. But there's no like build and development into the next thing.
Because then we'll know what's coming.
Yeah.
And they've got to have this big reveal,
Right.
which is sad, because
Well,
we're not expecting.
back into DC.
Will Sideways come back into DC?
I hope
I'm
so.
sure he will, because it's Dan Didio.
I hope so.
Didio wrote it. Dan Didio is still in charge. Tempest Fuginaut is in the Flash Forward series that's out right now.
I was going to point up here, but I took that one
Yeah,
down.
you took that one down. Because I started to gesture in that direction as
So if
well.
you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I reviewed Flash Forward, and I talked about
Sideways.
a little bit about Sideways. But
He's got a couple videos on Sideways if you hadn't
I
checked
love
those
Sideways. Sideways
Um,
was one of the best of the
Heroes.
New Age of Heroes, which I hate that they got rid of some of those. Like the Terrifics are still running, which is terrific. Because that's
I
excellent.
so want to get in on that, but I'm scared to death as soon as I try to, it's going to quit.
You want to borrow some of mine?
You've let me borrow up through the first 10 or so I'll have to catch up. But yeah.
So that was excellent. Silencer's great. They'll keep her around, although I haven't seen anything with her.
Yeah.
Damage was excellent. I don't know why they canceled that. I guess sales. Sideways is a great concept, great character. And they just got rid of it. The art wasn't my thing, but I enjoyed the story.
You know what they could do? Take one book, sell it for $5 a month, and have 3 stories with each of those characters in it: Silencer, Sideways, and Damage. And I'm sure it would sell just fine.
There you go.
Because you've got the crossover from all 3 of those series, and people would be interested in
Well, I have a theory, and I have a video on it about Sideways. I think he's going to end up in the... Well, before Bendis, I thought he was going to end up in the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And I'm not over that yet. I still think that might happen because...
No, Didio hates the Teen Titans, so if he puts them in there, Sideways will be the only character alive at the end of the first story arc, so that won't work. As far as the Immortal Man goes, he was checking that out too, but then they killed like the one character he was most interested in the first issue, and even though the character was on multiple covers, I think that was that
That's
book.
the unexpected.
Oh, sorry, never mind.
I didn't really care for the Immortal Men. I understand. Like I wanted to.
Because didn't you buy all of them?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
I bought all the first issues.
Right.
And I think I ended up with more Immortal Men than I wanted. But I don't know why. It just didn't. That one didn't resound with me.
Yeah.
But I like Jim Lee's a great artist. So I was kind of sad to let it go. But there were a couple characters that were on there that I liked, but the story didn't compel me for some reason. It was more along like that. It'd make a great dark label book if they
wanted to bring it back.
If they made it look like it was too bright for the darkness that it was going for, so if they brought it back and made it more of a horror, it might work better. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But I've got a couple videos on all the
New Age of Heroes.
New Age of Heroes if you're interested, or unless you go watch them again if you've already seen them. But anyways, well, we better wrap it up. Feel free to leave comments. We'll come back
and reply.
Yeah,
so.
we appreciate you watching.
Chat with us.
If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to welcome you to the family. Leave us a like if you enjoyed that. We've got a couple of things coming down the pike this week.
There's some event at the end of this month. What is that? People dress up and get free candy. What is that called?
It's Halloween.
Halloween.
We
might have something special planned.
We got a cool concept that we're gonna try. See if it works. Hope you look forward to that. I'm about to film a video with him on the line next. If you didn't see our last one where I surprised him with a quiz, that was fun. So you can go check that out.
I don't know exactly what he did tell me a little bit of what he wants to do. So if you want to see my encyclopedic knowledge on display,
there you go.
we're
That'll be
about
coming
to do
out
that
this week.
live.
We won't do it live.
Oh, we're not doing it live. Okay.
But it'll come out.
I don't know. What am I saying?
It'll come out later this week. We did film a Yoda video. I just had a crazy week, so I haven't been able to finish it. But it will.
The editing on that takes a lot
It'll
longer.
It'll be coming out before too long, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, keep a lookout for that. And we will
catch you next time.
Catch you next time. Peace.
You didn't want to shove that in my face again?